Does your family have a history of long livers? I don't mean that in a medical sense. I mean, are you blessed with family members who get to live at least past 70? Well, I always wondered about mine. I did some ancestry stuff about 2 years ago, and primarily I was looking at my mother's side at the time. And I knew, of course, my aunts and uncles, but I never really remembered or knew how they were when they passed on. Well, after digging through some stuff, I found out that of my mother's family, three of her siblings passed between the ages of 70 and 79. Okay. Four of them passed between 80 and 89. And then she had three of them actually that made it to 90 years old. Plus, I think one of them was like 92. Of course, all those numbers, that even included both of my grandparents. So I've got great expectations to make it to at least 90, maybe, with all my faculties, maybe. But I'm going to give it a good shot and see what happens. They said, I asked them, I said, what was the cause of death? Well, a lot of it was just because back in the day they worked so hard and they were around a lot of smoke and nothing really traumatic. It was just old age. Now, in my grandfather's case, I know he was senile towards the end, so it could have been, Alzheimer's or something like that. They never really did say Alzheimer's back then. They just said, he's just getting old. They just kind of blew it off like that. So I'm just going to, knock on wood and try to keep busy and keep the cobwebs out of my head. And thank goodness I'm only on one pill so far. And I hope to keep it that way. And it's just a little blood pressure pill. And I tried one time to get rid of it. Well, that didn't work out too great. So I learned my lesson. So I'm a good girl now. One pill a day, and that's it. Now, the occasional omeprazole or Alka-Seltzer, only because I love Mexican food. Green chili, the red chili enchiladas, or even green chili enchiladas, pozole, all of that stuff. And of course, you get the heartburn that goes with it. I don't care. I'll just take a fizzing glass of Alka-Seltzer and it'll go away. But I certainly hope that nothing else will happen. Like I said, things happen and sometimes it's beyond your control, but I'm going to do my best to keep everything at bay. Well, you know, when you purchase an appliance, like, when we moved here, we had to buy everything new, and that's been over 20 years ago. Well, they usually say within the first 90 days, something is going to go wrong with either your washer, your dryer, dishwasher, ice maker, you name it. It's usually the first 90 days, something's going to go downhill. Well, we had a couple of those. A little minor repair, no big deal. But I'm thinking, that's over 20 years ago that we've had these guys, and they're still cranking on. So I'm just waiting that if something happens, maybe I should replace one or two of them maybe next year. And I figure I'm 75 now. If they'll last another 20, that'll get me to 90, 95 without having to buy anything else. I think I can do that, maybe. At least that'll be a goal. Now, maybe I won't need the stove at 90 because it's a gas stove. That might be a little dangerous, I think, to be cooking at 95. I'll just send the DoorDash subscription to my family. Easy peasy. I can have fresh meals delivered and I won't have to pay, right? I think it sounds like a good idea. I'll run it by them, see what they say. My name is Melissa. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay upright, keep breathing, and we'll see you in the next one. Have a good day.